Hey guys, so I'm going to make a really quick overview of the tools that I use more often. I'm going to start with this selection sets, which is just you create buttons that select controllers or whatever you want. So I have already a few here that I created for this character. So if I want to go creating a new one, just select what controllers you want, click here, name it, and I can also select all those different colors. So I usually make a new color for each character that I'm having the scene, but you can do whatever you want. There's also the twin machine and the blend. The twin machine most people know already. It's kind of the same as that old one that we used, but is preset buttons here. So say I have those two poses over here and create something in the middle. I just go there and click on it. See, and that T in the middle means exactly the middle value for those keys. Those different a little bigger buttons here is exactly copy the next key, and this will copy the previous key, right? These ones are overshoots, those three at the edges here. So if I'm gonna go this one, you see it made an overshoot for that, and these are in betweens, like a third or something like this. And you can it's going to apply for what you have selected. So if I select just the arm, for example, I can go the arm, you know, and do stuff like this. And all the almost all the tools here work on a basis on whatever you have selected or what you have on your graph editor. So if I have something selected on my graph editor, it's going to apply to that. So let's see, I can apply just for the keys that I select, or I can select either even keys that are not on your current frame there. So you can select basically in three ways. I can select the keys on the graph editor first, and even if I have something selected like here or whatever, it's going to ignore that. Even that, it's going to ignore and apply to my keys on the graph editor. If I don't have anything selected on my graph editor, it's going to apply for the keys that I have on my timeline. So I can even select a range of keys, or just be on a key and apply to that. And also you can filter your what you want, so the channels you want. So say you have you want to apply for just for the X translate, say, you can just click on that and it's going to apply just for that, you know. Or if you just want rotation, something like this. So keep that in mind, because all the tools here work on the same way. So almost all, of course. So what about the blend? What's the blend means? So let's make another key here. So okay, I have exactly the middle key. So let's say I want the arm to be a little more like the other key, right? I can do like this, right? So I'm applying a value more close to that key over here. But let's say you you create a key, but you already changed it in some way. And if I apply it again with the twin machine, it's going to ignore what I have here and recalculate based on those neighbor keys, right? So the blend will take the value that you already have and blend to the next key. So if I go all the way down, it's going to be more close and closer to that key, or vice versa. You know. That way it's going to be the other key. And if I hit on the B, it's going to blend for both keys. So it's going to blend like in the middle or something. There's also this slider over here, which is ways for you to edit like values of keys, let's say that. It doesn't create any key like Twin Machine or Blend or stuff like this. It's it only applies to the keys that you already have there. So if you click here, you will see a list. These are the modes that you can use. Each one is different. At the very bottom, there's a toggle that you can open this toolbar here that lists all the modes at once. And it works the same way. I can select like on the timeline or the graph editor or stuff like that. The ones that I use the most is this blend to neighbors. It's this one here. I have it selected here as well, so I can use either here or here, it doesn't matter. What it does is exactly like the blend here, but it's more interactive. So I can go from one key to another key, like very slowly if I want. And say I want maybe rotation to be more like the next key. I can do stuff like this. I use this a lot for like lip sync and blend stuff. One mouth to the other. Yeah, I would talk more about what the other stuff does, but I'll leave here for now. Other one that I use a lot is that reset. It's kind of the same that you could go like here and like this, right? But it's really painful to zero out stuff because not all the values are zero. The default values are not zero, like scale values are not zero stuff. And you can just go here and click on it. It's going to zero out all the values that you have. You can also put that in a shortcut that I will show later how to do it, but I could just like here and zero that out. Like, let's see if I have something here that doesn't have any. Okay, so this length, for example, it's not zero, but if I reset, it's going to know that the default value is 1. Of course, that depends on the rig. The rigger should set a default value here, so it's going to apply to that. So there's this nudge case, which is kind of the same as any nudge script out there, but there's a few other options there. So you can nudge keys or select all those keys and nudge a little bit. You can the difference is, say I want this key over here, I can just go there and nudge that. If you go to a place that there's no keys, it's going to bring that key over here, or if I want to bring that key over here, I can just do that. Also, there's this preset thing, so if I want to like nudge 10 keys, I can do like so, or I can enter a custom value here, something like, let's see, 5. See, and there's also this nudge everything in the scene, which will nudge every curve that you have, like everything. So sometimes you got a shot with a new cut and you want to bring, say, 24 keys here. See, we brought everything there. Those are the tangents. It's kind of the same of using that, but there's a few other options there. So this last 5 tangents is the tangents that I use, the default tangents that I use the most. So kind of the same thing. I can select here and apply it, right? Like linear or just step mode. But I can also apply to the timeline instead. So let me bring here the graph editor, so we can show you what it does in there. Okay, let's go to the very end. There's a few keys here, so I can select here and apply linear. So it's going to apply, and again the same way you can just apply that to, let's say, the Y, or and I can also, if you right click on these buttons, there's options as well. So say I want to make all my animation stepped, I can just right click here and on the step and say all keys, or let's say auto, all keys. You see there's a few other options here. So say I want both ends, just both ends auto, or if I want to flat the ends of the animation, I can do like so. Didn't change that too much, but you can see here, flatten that out. And I have kind of the same options for those, but those 2 first tangents here are not like default Maya tangents. It's tangents that are calculated, script calculated, let's say. So say I wanted this key like to make like a bounce, I would do like break those tangents that I don't even remember how to do anymore because it's been a while. I don't know, it would like break stuff and do like this, right? So I can, instead of doing that, let me like this. So I can just bounce those keys. It's going to calculate it, calculate what you have. So let's say you have this like those tangents like that maybe. Oh. And if I bounce that again, see it's going to try to recalculate it based on the curve. And this smooth flow tangents, it's going to make very smooth calculation. So see, you have a few overshoots in here. See, depending on the tangents that you have on neighboring keys, and everything is going to calculate different. It's not the same as the spline. You see that on the spline, it's sometimes like here you don't have a really smooth transition, right? So here you see it's trying to calculate it based on what you have on the previous and next key. So can use that if you wanna make it really smooth and overshoot stuff. All these purple buttons are very specific tools. So I already showed you the selection sets, and there's this align, which is kind of a match tool. You select the first slave and then a master, and then click. Basically that. You can also select more than one. Like if I wanna align those two to that thing, I can just do like that. And another feature that it has is this: I can align stuff in more than one key at once. So let's say we'll create a key here first, and then let's say I want to align this guy right on this. So I can just select everything and click. It's going to apply for all those keys, so that can be useful to do a lot of stuff. If you right click, you can align just position or just rotation. Here we have the mirror option. It's just we'll make a different hand here. I can select opposite controllers as well. So if I control click here, I will select the opposite controllers. If I shift select, it's going to add the selection. So say I wanna mirror that hand to the opposite hand. I just normal click, like the left click. If I wanna shift select here and I wanna mirror all those the both hands, I would do like so, and you have a few options here, like unselect a few controllers, and this auto select mirror objects. If you turn that on, whatever you select, it's going to select both hands. So it's good. So sometimes you want to apply for both controllers at the same time, like facial stuff. If you want, just turn that on and we'll do like that. And to turn that off, just right click. This one here is a temp pivot thing. So sometimes you need to rotate objects from another pivot, but you don't really want to make constraints or stuff like that. So you can just go to a frame that you want to change. Let's make something, say your hands like that, and you wanna like rotate from the tip here. So I can just select the controller that I want and click on that. It's going to make a kind of a temporary rig, and I can just move that where I want. If you hit V, it's going to align to stuff, so it's easier. So I have there, right, the pivot, and I just select like the rotation tool or the move tool, whatever you want, and rotate from that pivot there. I can flip between your keys to see what's doing, and once you select anything else, it's going to delete that temporary rig, so it's going to bake your translation and rotation to that, so it doesn't create any rig or constraint whatsoever when you exit the tool. And you can also apply to more than one object at the same time. So for example, you wanna rotate the hips with the feet, for example. You can just create that, move that where I want and rotate. Like for both hands, you can do the same thing. That's it. So all the way up here you have this motion trail tool, which is good for track stuff. I can just select the controllers that I want and click. It's like a turn on off switch, and you can see shows all the green keys are the previous keys, and blue keys are the next keys, and the red key is the current key. So you can see what's going on there, and it's kind of a faster, let's say, a motion trail that you can edit, and you don't actually need to wait for that to update before moving. So you can just continue working, and it's going to calculate on the background. You can also create the trail for just one range, doing like that. So you just start on the key that I did. Another feature is you can also apply to more than one object at the same time. I just doing like that. Of course, if you have a really big timeline, it's going to take longer, so it's good to apply for smaller portions, I guess. If you right click, you have a few options here. This is the amount of keys that you are seeing, so if you want to see less keys, you do like that, and you'll be seeing like just the 6 previous and next keys at once. There's another option here that can offset stuff. So say you wanna track like the nose on this section, so just turn that on for the head, and I can right click here and select the offset controller. It's going to select controller there, and you can just move that to the nose, and there you have the nose track. Here you can see it's a shortcut for a play blast. So the difference is that I don't need to go to my to the camera that I want, like hide stuff and play blast. Instead of, I can just select the camera that I want. You just need to do that once. So I just camera 1, and you can select a range and click on that. It's going to play blast the camera. So even if I'm working on perspective view, I can want to check what's going on here. I can do like so. It's going to play blast my camera. And there's another option here that you can save your Maya file after play blast. This is just like another layer of security, let's say. Usually you are watching your animation when you play blast, so it's a kind of a dead time, so you can use that to save your file. If you are working on a really heavy file, it's a good time to save it anyway. Yeah, basically that. You can also play your last play blast if you by accidentally close it if you want. That's it. This number here means the number of nodes that you selected. So you can see here the everything that I select. So sometimes I kind of in doubt what it's selected, so I can just see here. If you click on that, it's going to list, and you can just like select just one thing. If I just like that guy, I can do like so. And the last thing that I use most is this animation crash recovery. Here's the menu that I will go through that in another video. But just to finish that one, you have here the, and you can see that. Let's go to like so, so you can see what I'm doing here. So this animation crash recovery, when you have that on, what it does is that saves on the background the whatever you are changing here. So basically, it's if your Maya crashes and you open the file again, it's going to pop a message saying if you have if you wanna load stuff. So let's see one example here. I'm going to say I'm working here, and this is the last change that I did, and say Maya. I don't need to close that, just that. And let's say I or accident close without saving. So if I just open that file again, you wait that a little bit. Okay, so it's it popped that a message that I have a newer animation, and if I want to load, if you have any doubts, that says the time of our file here, and the time that animation crash recovery last saved, which is kind of newer, right? So if I hit yes, it's going to load and load. So you see I have the last change that I did over there.